Yeah, I mean, this is, okay, yeah, Ferf the Sonic, that's right. Now it's all coming back to me, but Vivid, playing an underrepresented character in Toon Link. We actually have a couple Toon Links in this bracket.
Yes.
And I think Vivid showing their stuff. Let's see what happens here. Ferf already going in with the rush down. One certain type, well, it's one type of Sonic. There are others.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's going to be, and Toon Link is one of those characters where, like, maybe less so in the States where a lot of the characters seem common, but, like, if you haven't got the experience against Toon Link, it can be really, really jarring. This character has got some, not unorthodox tools necessarily, but the tools have got properties that you wouldn't necessarily expect to have, say, as much lag or as much range as you would expect. And we're kind of seeing already this sort of, like, both these players are playing on the same side at the same point where it's almost like they take it in turns, right? You know, we have the 0 to 80 coming out from Vivid and then Ferf just responding with this 0 to 83 so far. So both these players got very, very strong advantage states, but
God. Yeah, definitely some close calls on both sides right now, Joycey. But, I mean, I think that Vivid is doing the right things and trying to pressure Ferf. I do like the aggression that Ferf has had in this game, though. I mean, is keeping this close mid-range distance and still dancing around Vivid on both sides. Still is going to lose the first stock regardless. And Vivid, I mean, the thing is, you have these niche setups with Toon Link that if you don't know the matchup, like you said, you simply aren't prepared for it. But I feel like Ferf might know this matchup. It seems like this isn't breaking new ground here. This isn't new territory.
Now, this is the scariest part of any moment like this for Ferf, right? Where you don't necessarily want to just go, you know, straightforward, gung-ho, and because those stray hits, they are soon going to add up. You need to find that kill, you need to find it soon, and you need to find it early, because otherwise it can just be so difficult, and that sort of gentle garden path can turn into something much steeper very, very quickly. Vivid, 158%, just juggling that bomb, getting a nice little three-piece there, the bomb to up tilt to 2 up air, and Ferf getting a few hits here and there, but we haven't really seen anything substantial. The bomb's going to blow up there, and the spring actually sending him back onto stage. That's not what you're after, but...
Oh, not the splat on the screen. Unfortunate. But hey, that still is 56% of extra credit on Vivid, for Vivid. I mean, I definitely think that it's crazy. I mean, the bomb being the Swiss Army knife in this kit, being allowing you to do whatever. It's for your approaches, it's for your recoveries, it does almost everything, and it allows you to unlock more parts of your kit, and that kind of is what makes Toon Link so unique and interesting. But the bomb setups are starting to get read out a little bit. I feel like Ferf is like taking the bomb hits and be like, okay, cool, I can still get something off of this and find your way. It's almost like a snake grenade at that point. It's like a non-issue sometimes.
Yeah, we can see not quite managing to get the conversion there. Bit of an optimistic forward smash coming out there from Ferf at the moment, and just very, very gentle movement here in neutral. Not managing to get the edge guard, actually managing to grab into the bomb into the back air, saying, hey, you know what, I've got those too. You know, getting that lovely little teeny tiny lead at the moment, hoping to extend it, and this is what Sonic can do best, right? When Sonic is forcing you to approach, you are just playing in the palm of his hand.
That's true, but Ferf, you know, did a great job of coming from behind here because, you know, 141, you're taking a lot of damage, but you're still staying alive. Even as a lighter character like Sonic, you're still doing okay, not dead just yet. But Toon Link, being a floaty character like he is, sometimes is a little bit harder to pin down at ledge, and I feel like Ferf has started to notice that. And I think like we've seen a little bit more hesitation as he's trying to figure out what's the right option here going forward. Vivid, of course, taking a great... Wow! We're going all the way out there. That's what I wanted to see from Ferf.
I was going to say, that is the one beauty of Sonic, right? It's that edge guard potential against characters, particularly like Toon Link, where, again, it feels, in this sort of comparison that we said to Hero earlier on, where like it's not necessarily like a linear recovery. You have got a lot of options to you, but if you want to go for something a little more complicated, you've got to set it up.
Yeah.
Like, there isn't just this inherent quick mix-up game that you've got. You've got to be able to pull the bomb. You've got to be able to position yourself, stay in the air long enough to maybe blow yourself up with it. Are you going to Zaire instead? And I feel like Ferf has just, you know, rushed all the way out there, catching Vivid, trying to sort of retreat, get away, and hey, worked out really well. Kill at 75%. You can't sneeze at that, let me tell you.
Right, because we've seen how that delay has worked in Vivid's favor in these edge guard situations, and yet, you know, this time for, you know, going all out there, I feel like that's something that you got to do because you got to set that standard early. Because now Vivid's not sure if you're going to be doing that every single time in the future. What to expect?
Yeah, mix-ups upon mix-ups. We are heading back to Stadium 2. Again, I think neither of these players they're not the most scrappy in the world. They can be at times, but they've got the speed or the projectiles, respectively, to kind of deal with that big space. But you're going to see it right now. Vivid, 25% on him so far. Here we go.
Wow. Lots of pressure here from Ferf. Looking pretty good. Is forcing out Vivid's shield, and now Vivid's starting to have to swing a little bit, but I mean, you got a sword, so I feel like that's actually, it works out well enough for Toon in some of these situations that if you get the timing right, Ferf is going to have to think twice about how you approach.
I've got to hand it to Vivid there, just going for that pivot grab, knowing that Ferf would sail right into his loving arms, and then waiting for the boomerang. Oh, I love the attempt there. Not quite going for the jab block, trying to get the roll away. Unfortunately, just a little bit too short on that. However, it's not going to let it phase him at the moment. Vivid with a very, very slight lead, and we can see that Ferf in this delicate situation is just keeping it. Can you get a punish?
Right. Oh, well, no, apparently not. I mean, it feels like this is only game 2, and they're already swinging for the fences, looking for some big call-outs, big mix-ups, stuff like that. I love the adaptation so early in this set.
Oh, wow, we're just going for that down air and then catching the retreat away with the forward air. Vivid once again with the lead in this situation, but we have seen what Ferf can do from behind. Oh, and maybe, yeah, just a teeny tiny bit too far. I love, again, these attempts from Vivid, but it's something that you were talking a little bit earlier on, right, about how because of that edge guard from the end of the first game, Vivid playing very, very preemptive for the second game and just being a little bit too shy. It was a really lovely attempt, don't get it twisted, but just need a little bit of tightening of the screws when it comes to the space. Right,
of course, and you have to know that that kind of aggressive edge guard is coming. Like, you can't just be throwing that out willy-nilly because you're playing right into Ferf's hands. So far, though, it feels like this has been, well, in Vivid's favor, at least for the moment. Ferf going to grab that bomb, and we saw how important those bomb setups could be for him if he's able to maximize that potential. So far, we get a couple good hits on the multi-hit, though. It's not enough to really perturb Vivid and Ledge. It's even right back up right now.
So I really love that catch on the roll in with the forward smash, and it feels like Ferf at times is just struggling to finish his food, whether it's his fault or otherwise. We did see Vivid a little bit earlier on falling out of that forward air that could have potentially led to a fatal edge guard, but certainly not letting it deter him so far, just going back to the ledge, going for the spring. Twice is the charm, 3 times. All these techs, though, real excellent stuff from Vivid at the moment, just keeping it very much even. Yeah, you'll take all that damage, but as long as it's not taking the stock, hey,
exactly. That's exactly right. I mean, you might have the percent deficit, but at the same time, like, that's okay. We can get that back in 2 hits. Right now, we might be able to get a stock as well if this edge guard pans out, but no! The air dodge just enough, and the jump called out. This time, Ferf on notice. Vivid still keeping that lead intact, and now some extra credit to boot with the grounded up B.
Only 13%, but again, any little bit and piece will work at this point. We have seen how aggressive Ferf can be, and just tried and true side beat forward air is going to take that. I've got to fully hand it to Ferf at the moment. He is not letting any advantage slip truly out of hand. It's every time it seems to slip away, he just, drags it back to the center of the table saying, you know what, we are equal at this point.
But they are reading each other. You can tell that Vivid is starting to catch on to Ferf's movement habits as we catch that slant, that like grounded up tilt that we part, like that little one part of it on the edge that we caught. It feels like Vivid is knowing how to get some of these combo starters. So far, if you keep your percent low, you're okay. But it's so hard to keep Sonic just kind of like in this position where you have the percentage advantage.
Yeah, the up air once again just not quite working like you want it to. This slower pace between these two, you can sort of sense not the desperation necessarily, but the urgency coming out from Vivid. I love that parry bomb into up air, and a second one to boot as well. What a retaliation from Vivid.
Wow, yeah, for kind of like nodding at that one, being like, all right, cool, yeah, that was an overextension, that was an overaggression. And he'd been making a couple of those, but now we're finally starting to see Vivid kind of stand up for himself. Be like, okay, look, I've had it with you like rushing me down and like jumping on me and like pressuring my shield. This time I'm gonna kind of return the favor a little bit, take the initiative myself. I think that's what we need, because that's the adaptations that I think Game 1 kind of forced out of Vivid.
No, it's a really, really interesting one, because it does feel like on both sides, it feels like the kind of like the combos and like all the ideas are there. That's what it feels like. It feels like every single idea that I see, I can see the vision of, but it feels like in certain points either moves aren't quite connecting or timings aren't quite there, and it feels like there's just, again, like we were saying earlier, there's a little something bubbling under the surface for both these players. Again, it has been a long day. We are on wave D of pools, and at the end of the day, you know, potentially your first bracket match, you could be feeling a little nervous. Could be that little bit of warm-up here, but you know.
Yeah, coming in the middle of like the afternoon, it's kind of like an awkward time for some people, so you never know. Right now, air dodge is being forced out already. Ferf seems to have the opportunity to set up some frame traps or some kind of punish on these panic options, but right now, it's just the bread and butter's coming out.
You can see at the moment, Vivid very much using the projectiles, just trying to keep in and out of first space. We've got the potential of another edge guard. I love the attempt there, but the bomb as well, but the neutral, again, all of these reversals, these little moments here, that just means that none of them can get something significant started. There are a lot of raw hits at the moment, but I need to see something more.
Well, there's your...
Hey,
is that what you wanted?
Shut me up.
I guess that is what you're going to get, whether you like it or not. I mean, that is going to be very, very aggressive forward smash. Finally, we get something really nice here. For finally getting some purchase again on that forward smash. Had been kind of hanging on to it for a little bit, so I like that, you know, he saved it for this moment, and I think it really worked. But Vivid, you know, still close to finding a stock. You just got to get the right setup, and there it is, bomb to up air. That seems like the tried and true. Ferf, because of his aggressive approaches, is still going to get caught by that bomb. Bomb being just like the option that you just slowly throw, and no matter how fast Sonic is going, he's going to get hit by it.
Here we go. What can we see from Vivid? Just waiting for any option, trying to catch with the dash attack, and a lovely little 37%. Again, nothing too fancy, but it is getting to that percent where, you know, you can get your boomerang conversions, you can get your bomb conversions going, you're going from those 1 pieces to the 2 pieces, and then potentially into those kills as well. And I love the fact that given the way that the games have gone, it's just knowing, like, going for the stuff that's safe, even in that situation, showing that little bit of character knowledge, knowing that when you slam on the floor with a homing attack, there is so much lag where you can run and charge a forward smash, of all things. Didn't get the kill, but again, it's that safety that I'm really appreciating from Vivid at the moment.
Right, and it's the kind of things where it's like, you know, Ferf has had to realize, like, when he's making a play, but, like, just barely missing on the timing or something like that, and then all of a sudden he's like, well, great, now I'm getting punished for this option because I thought that I was secure. But if you don't have it, yeah, that's the punish.
Dash attack, just using the homing attack to get something started here. The down throw. Ooh. Vivid just staying off stage. Bit of an optimistic forward smash there from Ferf, and once again, the return to neutral edge guard attempt. What can we see here?
Great tether back to ledge. Okay, I mean the hook shot has been primed for Vivid, being able to kind of bypass some of those edge guard options, but you cannot bypass this one. You have to get a reset here. Have to go on the ledge. Have to go a little bit low, but you see that spring was down there too. This time Ferf is the one calling out the jump. Vivid still having to do something with a slight lead.
Bomb just threatening that space up B again, just catching a little bit of a haphazard approach onto the shield, but this is, again, very, very slow pace. Oh, here we go. Right, these are the strings that I know these characters can do, right? You get those, you know, 0 to 40, 0 to 50%, and it just makes the neutral so much easier. Great air dodge there from Vivid after the early up B. Such great awareness. Again, the preemptiveness doing extremely well.
Okay. Still have to do something here. The pressure with the high boomerang gonna catch a jump, but this time Ferf just hangs on to ledge. Perhaps the mix-up that he needed, but even then, Vivid's still able to find a couple punishes here. The slow fall back into center stage, and Ferf gets away with it.
Here we go, just punishing another bomb throw, another bomb pull, sorry.
Oh,
with
God.
that side B, the homing attack again, exerting that pressure. The back air as well. This could be pretty spicy.
What? Okay.
Wow.
Is gonna kill. All right.
That was instantaneous. I didn't even know what move that. I didn't even know what move that was. I assume
back air.
Yeah, it would have been back air, but like, damn.
Yeah, up B versus back air. I mean, Ferf, able to fast fall enough to hit just in the vulnerable spot. Did trade, but that's a multi-hit that I don't really care about, right? It's like, fine, sure. As long as I get the kill option and I'm at low enough percent, it really doesn't matter. That's less of a risk. So Ferf able to calculate it, calculatingly figure that out and be able to punish. So good stuff so far. Able to eke out that third game win. Now we've got an interesting set.
I was going to say, we are seeing just the screws tightening up a little bit there for Ferf. Again, those sort of early percent combos and the edge guards, again, they are proving to be the real deal maker when it comes to sealing out those games. Again, Vivid also showing those signs of life, but again, it's just really, it's in those moments where it truly matters, those stock-taking moments where it feels like Ferf has just got that bit of an upper hand. But again, these are extremely good players in their own right. They're going to have the opportunity to grow, to develop, to make those adjustments, those adaptations, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I definitely think that both of these players have exhibited very, very strong shot calling in the set so far. So I definitely know that it's just about counter adaptation at this point. I feel like we have been that way since Game 2. Game 1 set the stage, but since then it has been a constant back and forth struggle between these two, even from stock to stock. So I definitely think that we're going to be seeing even more going into the rest of these. We're still as even as it gets, but whoa,
Wow.
the DI not there.
I was going to say, I'm surprised that was killed, but yeah, a little bit of suspect DI is going to seal Vivid's fate in that moment. We have seen Ferf pretty happy to pull the trigger on those forward smashes, particularly at those kill percents, because again, it's not too much, but Vivid just saying, you know what, let's pull this lead back into the center, okay? Lovely conversion, a little two-piece.
Truly to the center, because it's been up air almost every time.
Exactly.
And you are finding it on those platforms. The coverage is there for sure. So good stuff. Dash attack still not able to be in true advantage state. You got to remember, Sonic can get out of your mix of these low percents and fire right back.
Again, very, very slow pace between both of these players at the moment. It's that early percent where you don't want to commit too high. Those chances of reversals are so much higher.
Okay, that actually giving enough in-lag for Vivid to close the gap. Crazy stuff. The boomerang has multiple purposes.
Ferf going for quite the deep edge guard there. A little bit too late on the mark, and suddenly 51% off stage. See what we can get here. Bomb not quite going to manage it just yet. Clutch air dodge to the platform and the lingering hit of the back air.
No. That's all, like, throw a boomerang and it misses. That's crazy. Vivid, that's the time. That's the time to open up.
Yeah, I was going to say, again, it feels like Ferf, it's like that kind of thing where you've seen that has worked a couple of times and now you want to keep going for it. Exactly. And I don't know whether it's sort of, exhibiting a little bit of fear into Vivid, but with how safe Vivid has been playing, I don't feel like you're going to get too many of those anymore. So
no. Yeah, probably not. I feel like hopefully we've learned our lesson on that one, but you never know. You might be just saving it. I mean, there's moments where, Ferf had some gaps between the first few forward smashes, then all of a sudden brought it right back at the key time. It could happen again, and it could go both ways too.
Okay, now the onus on Ferf to get that approach going. 36% on the board at the moment. Bomb in hand, ready to deal with any kind of approach here. Just these little hits coming out from Ferf, but Vivid staying stoic at the moment, knows what the win condition is, and it does not matter how long it takes to get there. As long as the W comes with it, that's all that matters. Yeah, the strings just aren't there for Ferf right now. It's been a couple of stray hits, but Vivid is the one getting the multiple hits in the advantage state. Like, it feels like right now, Ferf just unable to really find more than a win in neutral and then has to reset. It's just an unfortunate turn of events. Jump 1, 2, 3, no tech on the spring. Thankfully, doesn't send too far. Forward tilt here. Ferf feeding a little bit of hunger for the edge guard. The bomb, though, keeping him at bay. Up tilt a little bit too high percent with a little bit too much rage. Means that you can't get the up air. Trying to hunt it down. However, the return to neutral it is. 3 minutes left on the clock. We need to see a punish on this homing attack. Right now, I think Vivid, if you pull the bomb, you can force a homing attack because Ferf has seen the green light by going over it. But it doesn't even matter because that fade away forward air, that's enough. And now we're going to Game 5. Ooh, and the fist bump coming out between the two of them already. But just yeah, before I love that sign of respect. Crazy. We're not even done with this. I love it. Yeah, no, Ferf having to put some respect on game right now. All right, I like it. But yeah, Game 5 coming up, everybody. This is our first Game 5 on this block, so very excited to see what happens here. Ferf has brought it to the brink, but Vivid, this comeback in that last game, might make it a dicey Game 5. Let's get into it. It's been PS2 the whole time, right? It really has.
I think it has.
I think it has just been PS2 the entire time, and already I can see there's always that change in the air, that change of pace when it comes to a game 5. It feels like you either lock in the game plan that you've had this whole time, or you think, right, I've got to really, really mix it up. And I think right now both these players are deciding that slow and steady is going to win the race for them. There is this element of safety that both of these players are really echoing in their gameplay at the moment. 30 seconds in and only 40% on the board. They know what each other can do, and they know that when they are forcing the other one to approach, generally speaking, it has been working out for the both of them. So, two immovable objects are looking at each other in the mirror right now, and hey, let's see where we go with it.
That's true. The swing first, you lose kind of game has been a pretty tantamount in this one. But I definitely think that, like, we have seen a slowing of the pace. Like, there's a lot of movement on screen, but the rising action has been lower and lower every single game. They are slowing down the pace, playing more patiently, trying to play more reservedly. And it has been a boon for at least Vivid. I feel like Ferf is the one who's having to kind of like anticipate some of these approaches now, because Vivid is the one who's able to kind of keep him at bay with the ranged options.
Yeah, and I really like the fact that Vivid has been going for these quite big swings in disadvantage as well. I think anticipating the fact that Ferf is feeling that pressure from having that big percent deficit and just saying, you know what, I know you're going to try and edge guard. I know you're going to try and close the space. Get away from me.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, these are moments where, Vivid is given an opportunity and might have to pass it up, but then we still get a second chance. Ferf losing that first stock yet again. Feels like it has been a probably like a repeat of a little bit of last game.
Yeah, you can see at the moment, Vivid again just maybe playing it a little bit too safe in that situation. Had a potential punish on deck and just sort of dashed at the shield, but didn't really get too much else from it. But of course, again, Vivid's safety has been the name of his game all the way through this, and it has worked extremely well so far. Don't get it twisted. Ferf has got to find something, whether he decides to kind of play that cooler style as well, or whether he's really going to turn up the jets to try and get something going. Something has to change.
But so far, I mean, Ferf has definitely improved a little bit on the micro movement so far in this game, just getting around both the bomb and the boomerang a little bit more effectively, where before he would get stuffed out or at least have to clank or trade with one of those projectiles. Not always a good option here. This time Ferf still at ledge, but homing attack continues to pay the dividends a little bit.
Yeah, and once again, Ferf trying to get anything started at the moment. 130%, 140%. Got the edge guard.
Oh, wow. Good save there from Ferf to not get hit by that. Goes right back to the ledge.
Yeah, back throw should do it. There we go. Yeah, 111% here on Ferf at the moment. Very much, we have seen Ferf come back, particularly I think it was that game 1 or game 2 where it was that real deficit that Ferf just sort of charged through.
Yeah, it was game 1.
Yeah, so it's something that we know Ferf has got in him. It's just whether he's going to be able to find it, particularly when the stakes are a lot higher than they were earlier on.
For sure. Yeah, this is a tough situation for Vivid now, or it was, I guess, until Vivid kind of like got back from the ledge, and then all of a sudden Ferf lets down the guard a little bit. Even though you're still center stage, you might be a little too close for comfort. Vivid being able to take some of those chances. And Ferf going to get punished here. How much damage are we going to take? The quick up special out is going to give you a reprieve, but only momentarily. Vivid is still playing super hyper aggressive right now.
Yeah, we see the sort of aggressive attempts to get back down, getting hit by the bomb.
Wow. Is that the skid?
Yeah,
no way.
So difficult. And now Vivid has just created this really big lead, and he's in prime position to end the set right here and now, trying to get it.
Oh!
Up smash on the platform. Are you serious? That kills.
Wow. On PS2, yeah, I mean, Toon, not the heaviest character for sure, so Sonic with a little bit of rage behind him too. A 105, we're looking pretty good. Can we make a second chance? No, it looks like that's as cooked as it gets. Ferf given the handshake. Vivid 3-2 over Ferf to move on here. What a tense set from start to finish, but it was the back and forth stuff, and the last 2 games went pretty solidly in Vivid's favor. Yes. I think it was from game 3 on, it was a turning point.
Definitely. It feels like, yeah, Vivid kind of clocked that he had to change up something and, really begun to slow that pace down and only go for those kind of like little haphazard